Hi guys, it's Summers here and I've got another episode of my FIFA 2019 career mode series with Aston Villa. We're getting quite close to the end of the season now, just rounding out the last few matches. We're not going to make our objective of winning the league, but I'd at least like to get into the playoff positions. We're occupying one of those at the moment, and I'd like to actually get through to the playoffs and maybe obviously progress further on and into the Premier League for next season. In this episode we are going to face off against Sheffield Wednesday in the first match. We're playing a 5-4-1 formation with a diamond in midfield, as you saw on the screen there. As the action opens up, we've got El Mohammadi on the ball, who knocks it into Smith Rowe, the youngster that we stole away from Arsenal, who knocks it across, and Christ, you put your house on Codger scoring that goal. Thrown into the box by Smith Rowe, and I think he was just about put off by the defender. So once again we're off down the right wing, Smith Rowe on the ball. Pacey winger, this young chap. Throws a great ball into the box, but the keeper's managed to get his hands onto it. El Ghazi there challenging the defender, but nothing happening. Sheffield Wednesday on the ball, out on the left hand side. Going to knock it in, but Nyland's good for that kind of effort. Smith Rowe again, quite a lot of the ball this episode, as we now got it out on the right hand side with El Mohammadi. El Mohammadi with the cross, and yes, Jonathan Codger once more with the header from about 18 yards. Another fantastic header from Codger, but also another great cross from El Mohammadi. That pairing has been amazing in the second half of this season. All the players getting round one another to congratulate themselves for their efforts. But Codger with such a great leap in the middle there, got away from his defender, drifted inside, and just nods it home. Patterson was there as well, so if Codger hadn't got on the end of that, Patterson might well have finished it as well. As we move on further into the action, and Sheffield Wednesday with a free kick, and not a bad effort, to be honest, with that header. Didn't get it on target though. Second half action underway. Not so much great defending there. Let the players drift in and getting a shot away from distance. It's a great through ball, and he's just smashed it into the top right hand corner. Great effort there from Sheffield Wednesday. So move out to more action from ourselves with El Mohammadi again with a cross. I think that was McGinn trying to get on the end of that one. Action in the middle of the field here. Grealish is through. What can we do from here with Grealish? He knocks it into the box, and oh my God, Smith Rowe with the header. Surely should have finished that one. Leap and bounds above everybody around him, and just can't get it in the top corner. If only that had been Codger on the end of it, eh? This game's top players are El Mohammadi, Codger, Smith Rowe and Nyland. El Mohammadi getting man of the match, of course, with a 9.4. Sterling effort there from the right back. As we go into a bit of training with the youngsters. Moving out to the second game of the episode, and as we can see, a rather strange sky there, a little bit orange, but we face off against Rotherham in this game away from home. This time we're going to play four at the back. We've got Taylor, Oxford, Chester and El Mohammadi. A diamond in midfield of Tanaza B in CDM, McGinn on the left hand side, Shaparenko on the right hand side and Grealish at the top of that diamond, and up front we've got Tammy Abraham and Muadiko. Action here with El Mohammadi again, once again out on the wing. He's knocked it into the box, and McGinn Yes, should have finished that, McGinn. Throw in from the left-hand side. Taylor's going to throw it into the box, and Dicko couldn't quite get his head on it, and Shaparenko was under it, but the keeper managed to palm it away. End of the first half here. Thrown it in the box. Nothing doing. Okay, moving on into the second half action, and Dicko's managed to get away down the right-hand side here. Can he get the cross in? He does. But it's a tame effort. Rotherham out on the right-hand side, got the ball across, and Nyland's punched that away quite convincingly. But they've still got the ball. Not a bad effort, to be fair. Taylor's had the ball lobbed through to him out here, and he's thrown it into the box, and we just can't get on the end of that. Glorious opportunity once more. Shaparenko knocking it out to El Mohammadi. Then Shaparenko again. Playing the ball around nicely here. El Mohammadi out on the wing. He's clipped it inside, and McGinn's made up for that first effort, and he's smashed it this one against the post. It's a great goal by McGinn. Another nice clipped ball into the box by El Mohammadi as well. You see El Mohammadi driving towards the byline and then just clipping the ball backwards towards McGinn, who smashes it against the post. Fantastic strike from McGinn there. Taylor here on the left-hand side, cuts it inside to McGinn, who knocks it on towards Grealish. Grealish manages to bundle it in and knocks a chip into the centre of the box, but we just can't get on the end of it. And there it is, the equaliser for Rotherham. We've been all over them pretty much all game, and yet they have one decentish effort on goal and it goes in. Just sums up our season, to be perfectly honest. And it's a 1-1 draw in the end against Rotherham. Not the worst result, but certainly not the best. As we can see, El Mohammadi getting yet another man of the match here, taking 9 points from this game, McGinn with 4 and Grealish with 3. That puts El Mohammadi with what you would expect to be an almost unassailable lead with 12 points. As we move on straight away into the third match of this episode, we're at home to Bristol City.
Visitors, Bristol City and Aston Villa. Here's how the Villa line up.
So 5 again at the back. Henry, House, Zagadou, El Mohammadi playing in the right channel there with Bree at right back. El Ghazi, Maitland-Niles, Patterson, Smith-Rowe in the cam position with Codger up front. The reason we've put El Mohammadi there is because he got obviously 2 man of matches on the row, so he's a rather tired boy and wouldn't ordinarily be playing in this match, but you know, those are the rules that we set up, that anybody who gets man of the match must play in the next match. So we've played him in this match, and I'm sure we'll have to sub him off at some point as we throw that one in the box and nearly get on the end of it. What a great deep cross ball that we just can't get on the end of once it's knocked into the box. Bristol City knocking the ball around quite nicely here. One-touch football as usual, and we managed to get the block on that one just in time. It's a 0-0. It's certainly not a thriller, but it's a decent result against Bristol City. Courtney House getting man of the match there and collecting top player of the game, which gave him 4 points. And that really doesn't change anything in terms of this episode's top players, with El Mohammadi now getting what is almost an unassailable lead. As we move on into a bit of training again for the youngsters, continue to train the 2 Mancinis Santoro, Horn and Figueria. As we move into the next match with Bolton Wanderers. We're playing 5 at the back again. Taylor, House, Chester, Oxford, El Mohammadi, McGinn, Maitland-Niles, Patterson and Grealish in midfield in the diamond, with Dicko lining up as striker. During the action, a little way into the first half, and Bolton have got an effort here on target. I don't know if you can class it as on target, but it's an effort nonetheless. So we move on further into the action, and good old El Mohammadi down the wings, going to throw one in, nearly gets it on the head of Dicko. As we move on into the second half, just goes to show how little action we had in the first half. Dicko here on the ball, knocks it inside to Grealish, and Grealish, oh yes, Jamie Patterson. Ball rolled across from Jack Grealish into Patterson's path, and he just let it slide across his body before smashing it into the right hand side of the net. It's a great goal from Jamie Patterson. The ball just bending to the right as he smashes across it. Keeper tried his best but couldn't get onto it. More action here in the second half as we knock the ball out to the left wing. McGinn on the ball, knocks it inside to Dicko. Dicko knocks it out to El Mohammadi. Can he get it back in? And he does, but Grealish drags it wide. It's unlucky by Jack Grealish there. As we finish the match there, 1-0. A victory for Aston Villa away from home to Bolton Wanderers. Grealish with the man of the match. This game's top players were Grealish, Patterson, El Mohammadi, Maitland-Niles and our goalkeeper Nyland. The episode's top players are of course El Mohammadi with a massive 14 points, followed up by Jack Grealish with 9, House and Patterson with 6, Maitland-Niles and Nyland with 4. As we come out to some scout reports, we're looking at what has been found in Germany. Few players here we're just rejecting straight off the bat because they're just not what we're looking for, and the other players we'll have a quick look around, see if there's anybody of major interest that we can sign up. Okay, and the next scouting report is of course Alfie Rose, who we sent out to Portugal. Not had much luck out in Portugal, to be honest. We've got Figueroa, the goalkeeper, and that's about all really. Nothing more happening here in terms of finding anybody of particular use going forward. So whilst we're at it, we're just going to relocate those scouts because that was the last scouting report that they were going to give us for that particular region that we'd sent them off to. We're going to try a few different places this episode for the next few episodes. So we've moved one of the scouts off to the Ivory Coast. Hopefully we might find a decent sort of CDM player. They tend to populate those type of players in the Ivory Coast. And I'm going to try somewhere else that I don't tend to scout very often. I'm going to send the other scout down to France and see if we can get any results down there. As we move out to the next game of the episode, we're at home to Millwall. Lining up with 5 at the back once more, with Henry, Zagadou, Chester, Tanazabi and Brie. We've got Andrei Dozel, Shaparenko and El Ghazi in midfield, with Jack Grealish in the cam position. A little bit tired, but he got man of the match last episode, and Codger's up front. So, Rico Henry on the ball, knocks it inside to Andrei Dozel. Andrei Dozel knocks it through to Codger. Oh my God. That is filthy. That is a filthy finish from Jonathan Codger. Ball's been thrown through to him and he's just lobbed the keeper. So Dozel's knocked that ball into him and he's cheekily knocked it past the keeper and the defender who was trying to protect it on the line. Filthy, filthy goal. Okay, so Millwall on the ball now, knocking it about quite nicely, as usual on the edge of the box here. One-touch football. I was half expecting that to go in the top corner, if I'm honest. Got closed down there. We should have finished that one. And we're really under pressure here. I'm surprised that Millwall haven't bagged one of those. 3 very similar chances that you would expect the AI to finish, the sort of the edge of the box stuff, knocking the ball around so that we can't get close, touch tight to them. And in the second half here, we can see that they're knocking the ball around in a similar sort of fashion, knocking this one into the box, and it's header that's drifted wide. Got the ball here out on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, sorry, and we've crossed it into Henry, who's knocked it back across the box, and we just cannot get a shot away. El Ghazi here in the centre to Grealish. Grealish is going to play that out wide right, and it's James Bree on the ball. James Bree, can he get a good cross in? He can. You would have expected Codger to finish it, but the keeper parried it away, but only into the path of Andre Dozzell. Dozzell with a great finish, considering. Dozzell picking up the pieces there of the keeper's spill. Heads it home. Easy finish with the keeper left stranded on the floor, and the defender really nowhere to be seen. Moving back into the action with Millwall now, we're 2-0 up, and they're under a bit of pressure to try and find a goal. A great result there, a 2-0 against Millwall. Andre Dozzell getting man of the match, and obviously one of the top players of the game. He gets 5 points, Codger got 3, Henry with 3, Shaparenko with 2, and Nyland with 2. But this episode's top player still El Mohammadi with 14, whilst Jack Grealish is a little bit behind on 10. Move out again to some of the youth players, get some training in for those guys. And we're going to have a little bit of a change up here. Putting Santoro with 2 sets of training mode instead, because we want to grow that player based on the fact that we want him in the squad for the start of next season. I really want to get him up to 70 before we do that, but we'll have to wait to see if that's achievable. As we move out to the next game of the season against Leeds United. Now, if you remember back to the game that we got against Leeds last time, we lost 4-0 to Leeds. We're playing 5 at the back again with that diamond in midfield to try to put some pressure under Leeds, especially with the way that they performed against us in the opening game. So a bit of action here from Leeds. We're under pressure from them as you would expect based on their performance in the last game. Knocking the ball around quite nicely, expecting a long range shot any minute now, and there we go, blazed it over the bar though. As we move on into the second half, Leeds once again putting us under pressure, and we just can't get hold of the ball for long enough to get it away. Still nothing happening for them though. As we get on the ball here in midfield, Chester knocking it inside to Taylor to Maitland-Niles, and Maitland-Niles has managed to chip it on out to Ross McCormack. Oh yes, Jonathan Codger's managed to get on the end of the cross from McCormack, and he's nodded it home. Nobody around him, you don't want to leave him with that much space. The defender went off to try to get to McCormack and couldn't get there, and left him Jonathan Codger on his own. Too much time and space for the striker. He's just going to head that home. Doesn't need a second opportunity. Leads with a corner. And we couldn't clear it. We got the header at the near post, but we just didn't get it away. And they've knocked it in. Still not a bad result considering the hammering that they gave us in the first match. Yeah, so 1-1, not too bad. Ross McCormack getting man of the match with an 8.7. That gives McCormack 7 for that game and brings him onto the tally for the overall episode, which El Mohammadi had 13 points against Jack Grealish with 10, Codger with 9, Nyland with 8. So, player of the episode is El Mohammadi, the right back. There's only one problem with that, which we'll find out right now, one that we perhaps didn't consider when we were setting up this challenge, but El Mohammadi is actually injured at this point, so he can't actually take his 5 training positions at this stage. So what I'm going to have to do is hold that over until such point that he's back from injury. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to train the youth squad. And even worse news towards the end of this episode is that we've lost Nyland. He's injured as well. So, really bad news for this episode, but if you did enjoy it, if you can hit the like button, that really helps. And whilst you're at it, don't forget to subscribe too. You can also hit that bell icon for mobile notifications.